What is up, everyone? I just wanted to make a quick in June 2022. How does this game work? I know that they recently implemented a new tutorial system, which I highly recommend because you also get free packs when you play it, which will teach you the basics. But just want to kind of go over maybe some things they don't get into, and just kind of if you wanted to see this ahead of time before you start getting into it, you can go into the market to buy cards with in game money or the gods tokens. Collections, you can look at your cards and other cosmetics you have. Workshop is where you build decks. You come with a starter of each god, but of course I've made a few extras as I get more cards. Forge is how you can combine cards to be able to sell them on the market, which I'll go into in the future a little bit more into that. Open packs, when you unlock packs or you buy them, they come into here and then you open them. But I don't have any, so can't do that. And then there's buying and stuff. Something that's kind of not obvious, if you click on these here, it brings up a store that you can use the blue currency. These switch every day, these are every couple days, and it kind of goes from there. So I always just keep an eye on if there's anything that seems like it would fit with what I need, because it's kind of hard to get cards just by playing. It's only by leveling up, which takes a little while. When you want to actually play a game, you can play the tutorial, you could play against an AI, or if you just want to play, you can go in here. So this is where you pick your deck. This is cosmetics, like what your board looks like and stuff like that, but I don't have any of that. Then you just hit play. Something to note is there's this gather of the gods every day. You have to win as any of the gods. So they're all gray in the beginning. And then when you win, you get this first little star. And you can get 3 wins for each god. And then that unlocks the next one. So then I played as this one, won one, and it unlocked this. So if you go around, you get 3 wins with all of them. You get a lot of the gold currency, which is important for fusing cards and other things in the future. So I'd recommend doing that while you're getting started. And then there's also weekend events, which are going on right now from Friday morning to Monday morning. Pacific time is at least what I know. Uh, your first 25 games, the more wins you get, the better rewards you get. So I'm in I think it's a pretty average rank right now. Um, I think last weekend I got like 16 wins or something, and I ended up getting 2 free packs with some epic cards in them. So it was pretty worth it to just try. I'm doing a lot worse this week because I'm paired with higher people. And you can also get the gods tokens, which allow you to buy cards and forge them into being able to be sold for more. Um, but I didn't do well enough. You have to be higher rank, or if I won like 20 games, I could have won a couple bucks worth. But um, that requires some better decks that I don't have yet, so hopefully in the future. All right, so we got into a game. Remember, I'm not good, and I have terrible cards, so I'm still learning. So, uh, each god does have 3 different abilities, but you can only choose one. So here you get +1 strength, but you do damage to one of your creatures. This one does 2 damage to the opponent's god, or you can summon a 1 attack, 1 defense raider. I typically go for this with this deck, so I'll kind of show you why in a little bit. Right off the bat, you have 4 different replacements, like mulligans. So I usually go with the most expensive card. I don't want that. I don't want either of these right in the beginning. These are pretty good to start out, so I'll keep this hand.
Best of luck.
Once more unto the breach.
And you see he goes first, and you can tell he only has 1 of these. That is an extra mana. So right here is your mana. Up at the top left of each card is the mana cost. So this costs 1, I have 1. If I were to use this, it's a one-time use, I would then have 2 mana, I could play this character. But I have 3 because I went second, I still want to save him. I'm just going to start out by playing this guy, because as he attacks, he gets stronger, which kind of forces him to deal with that. By hitting this, you then pass your turn. So by looking at a card here, on the bottom left is the attack. So he has 2. It's also called their strength. On the bottom right is their health. So he had 2. He just got attacked by this creature who had 1 strength and 3 health before. But then I attacked him, or he attacked me. I took 1 damage from his 1 strength. He took 2 damage from mine. But then he also has regen 1, which means at the end of his turn, he regenerates a health. So he went from 1 up to 2. Then he also played this character, which is a 2 cost, 3 strength, 3 health. Uh, also, again with the regen, but it also has confused. And that means that when he attacks, it has a 50% chance of attacking someone else on accident. When you play these creatures, you can attack either other creatures or you can directly
The
attack the
battle
god. So I
rages
just
on.
attacked that god, did my strength worth of damage to him, and getting that down to 0 is how you win the game. I'm then going to throw out an extra little character here, and this character has what's called
Let's
frontline.
not be
That
hasty.
means that they have to be attacked first before any of your other characters or your god can be attacked. So it's important to get those out there as kind of a defense so that they can't just rush you and do a whole bunch of damage. My character had burn, which means at the end of my turn I take a damage, so that's why this guy basically burned out.
Nothing like the sweet
On the right
scent
of your board
blood.
here, this is your void or your
Get
discard
ready.
pile. So when things die, they go here. And then you can also view the opponents, but he doesn't have any. This is your deck. It shows I have 24 cards left. The opponent also has 24. I've never actually decked out, so I would assume the game ends, but it's, I think, pretty hard for that to happen. I'm going to play this because it has a little bit of health. It can't attack, it's more just a wall, but it's typically for a 3
Let them
cost better than
squirm
other
for a
free costs.
while.
I'm also going to use one of these extra one. It restores one of these mana, and I'm going to play this guy, which is kind of going to force him to attack because he needs 2 characters to attack this before he can go to this, so then he can't really attack me. I'm kind of playing a little bit more defensively. Something that was kind of difficult for me to learn down here, this is favor. So as you play, you'll get some of this. You get a lot for attacking the enemy god, and then I think killing creatures on your opponent's turn. So if they attack you and then die, you get favor, and you can spend that on these cards over here. So 13, 15, 15, and it's kind of just like a free draw a card by spending this favor. So it kind of helps. So he just bought this card here for 15. And so he had an extra 1 mana and probably no card in his hand that took 1 mana, so he bought that card and used it. It's kind of helps you to snowball when you're winning, so I kind of don't like that, but it is what it is. I would love to be able to use that, but I want to put some characters out first. And then there are cards that don't have strength and health. Those are just spells or action ability type things. I'm sure there's an official name for it, but so he just used that on me to kill me. I know he's just gonna rush my character, so I'm probably gonna lose this one, but it's just for show. This right here is your time left. Anytime you do something, it fills up a little bit more, but as it drains, it'll eventually kind of tick down over here, and once it gets to here, your turn is over. So it does kind of force you to hurry up. The cards will mostly tell you what the effects do, and then there's the little off to the left, the roar. It kind of tells you what a roar is. So for example, this one is only played from your hand. If you had a card that drew it from the void, the roar wouldn't take effect anymore.
That's enough for now.
And so this one's probably going to be a loss. I'm just going to go ahead and end this here. But you kind of see how things go. Certain decks try to rush the board, get a bunch of characters out. A lot of mage decks will play a little bit slower and kind of react to whatever you're doing. So I'm hoping to get more cards and try a few new goofy things out and uh, get better at this game.